As we finish this week with the word of encouragement, I would like to again emphasize, as I did yesterday, the need to be surrendered to the will of God. We have had a lot of things happen, and it just keeps going from one thing to the next, and I think we're beginning to realize that these are very, very serious days. But we can have a real joy and peace and purpose if we are willing to be used of God. I can't help but think of Philip, the evangelist. He was a deacon in the Jerusalem church, and God had stirred him to be part of helping out with the churches that were being started in Samaria, and he saw the great work there and was part of that himself as he was preaching the gospel, and God was using him to do mighty things. And then right in the middle of that great work, the Lord gives him an order. And it's very interesting. You would have thought that he would want Philip to stay and continue on with that work, but we read in verse 26 of chapter 8 of Acts, "And the angel of the Lord spake unto Philip, saying, Arise and go toward the south, unto the way that goeth down from Jerusalem unto Gaza, which is desert. And he arose and went." He didn't argue. He didn't feel discouraged. He didn't feel put out because he was going to miss out on all that was going on. He was a man under authority and was willing to do whatever God told him to do. Now, to go down into the desert, there's not a lot of people down that direction, and it would be a difficult journey. We don't know all that was part of the trip from Samaria to Gaza area, but it was through the desert there, along by the sea. But as he got closer, the angel directed him and told him to go near to the chariot of the Ethiopian eunuch, though probably one of the top men in Ethiopia. And this man, of course, was reading the scriptures in Isaiah, and Philip was able to lead him to the Lord. What a tremendous privilege that was. And you know, if we are willing to listen to that voice of the Lord, to be sensitive to what he wants, right in the middle of everything, all of a sudden we get an opportunity to have a divine appointment to see God work. You know, we hear all about how people are turning away from the Lord and not going to church and all these things, but listen, there are literally thousands of people that are in great need. And God knows how to direct. He's able to even cause crises in our lives to put us right at the right place at the right time to be able to reach the very person that he's working in, just like he was with the Ethiopian eunuch. And so if we can see our life as a series of divine appointments, as a life that is important to God to continue on his purpose, then we're not thrown by what's going on. We realize we're called of God to right now to do what he wants us to do, and every day is important. It will be rich in meaning if we're willing to fully surrender to the will of God. Now, as I conclude with this, you'll not know the Lord's will unless you're in the Word regularly, surrendering to everything that God speaks to you about. And then there has to be extended time of meeting with God, really knowing his heart. And if you do that, especially at the beginning of a day, your spiritual ears will be open to the voice of the Spirit as the truth comes back to you and as he specifically prompts you, just like he did with Philip, to do his will and to be able to reach people that come across our path, to do things that God wants us to do. What a privilege. And so I encourage you today, God wants you to live out his divine purpose. And may we have ears to hear what God has to say to us so that we can accomplish his purpose.